Okay, welcome to Keep It Real, a show about what's happening in music today, where we're talking to bands from all around the world, courtesy of JMR Studios here in beautiful Sunset Park, Brooklyn. I'm Ryan. I play in a band called No Love Songs. We're an original grunge band here in New York City. I'm also the founder of Friends and Aliens Records, where we do live rock records with no click tracks. And I'm really excited because today I'm talking to one of the bands who has recorded with Friends and Aliens. They're coming to us from Albany, New York. Welcome, FLATWOUNDS.
Hello.
Medical doctors say you're liable to go psycho.
For posterity's sake, can we just go down and say your name, your instrument, and your favorite Ninja Turtle?
I'm Colin. I'm the singer. And I like Donatello. He's the leader in blue. He'll do anything to get his ninja through. So.
That's Leo. That's kind of mad because I was going to pick Don. You're not a true Don fan. Come on, man.
I thought Donatello was the leader in blue.
I'm Matt. I play guitar, and I love Donatello.
Okay.
You've been exposed, Colin.
Okay. Well.
My name's Wade. I play the drums. Ninja Turtles are cool. I don't know if I have a favorite one in particular, but I do love pizza. So.
It's adjacent. It's adjacent to Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
I'm David. I play bass. My favorite Ninja Turtle is probably Raphael.
Ooh. All right, so let's jump in. I want to hear about you guys and your music. You are one of the coolest bands I've heard in a long time, I have to say. I love the style that you guys have created. It's reminiscent of things that a lot of people are familiar with and like, but it's also fresh and original and unique. So I'd like to hear about how you developed that sound, but I think a way to talk about it might be to talk about your EP Raw. So this is an EP that you did a live version of that with Friends and Aliens recently, and this is your first record, so I have a feeling that putting that together was kind of like when you guys created and really solidified your sound. So what was the story of creating this EP Raw?
The best word that I can describe it is kind of chaotic, because we kind of wrote all those songs within 2 weeks. So the way FLATWOUNDS started was just Matt and I, and I booked a show without having any other members in the band.
Or songs.
Yeah. So we kind of just...
You didn't have songs when you booked the show?
No, we didn't have anything when we booked the show, and we're like, okay, we have 2 weeks. I hit
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Really?
I hit up Wade, and Matt knew Dave, and we all got into a room, and we were like, okay, we kind of don't want to play covers, so let's just see what we come up with.
It was 2 practices. It was one practice, we did 3, another practice, we did another 3, and that was the set for the first show.
That's incredible. And you performed the whole thing at that first show?
Yeah.
Where was it?
It was at this place called the Fuse Box in Albany. Legendary spot. It was cool to play there for our first show. We were so unprepared, I had to hold my phone, because I just wrote the lyrics the day of the show. So I had to hold my phone and be like, oh, that's what I say there. I didn't know the lyrics at all or anything, so.
You got a new single out, In the Sun. Tell me about that. How has your music evolved since Raw? How does this new single speak to who FLATWOUNDS is now as artists?
For the first 3 EPs, all of that was done in-house, at a home studio with our own equipment, and very little to no outside help whatsoever. It was a very interesting learning experience, knowing how to track and record and put together these songs. But In the Sun is probably... It is the first song that we've released where we've actually worked with true professionals that really know what they're doing. And
I would say in terms of songwriting, it's definitely evolved for sure. I think we use not so common progressions rock progressions in this one. It's a little more experimental. I mean, it's still within a box, but it's I don't know. I feel like we've just gotten bored of more traditional writing styles, so we're always trying to expand and try to find new ways to make a song interesting,
What does that creative process look like? Is Matt coming in with something on the guitar, then you're writing lyrics? Is it a little bit more haphazard than that? Is it everybody's putting something in? How does it work?
In the Sun was it started with Dave. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a progression that we just decided to roll with because it's used in a lot of Japanese music that I listen to, and we just figured that we'd work with it. But a lot of the time, it's usually Matt coming up with a riff, and then we'll kind of just start adding on to it layer by layer. Vocals usually come last.
How do you guys describe your genre? You mentioned being like it's in a box. So how do you tell people like what kind of music does Flatwounds play?
We play rock and roll.
Yeah,
That's what we play.
Energetic, heavy music. People have called it every kind of subgenre of rock or metal that I can think of. Obviously, we're not like extreme death metal or anything like that. There's elements of punk rock, elements of just like classic metal, like new metal, or just heavy, energetic rock and roll.
Is it true? I've heard that some Albany venues have signs that say no bands lighter than Flatwounds.
That is true.
Yeah.
Some say that, yeah.
Yeah, that was a rule at one venue for like a hardcore night, and it's like we were like the threshold for what's considered heavy, like anything beyond us, you know.
We do have some softer, more melodic, I guess, songs in our catalog. So, but we also have like I said, heavy, energetic ones. So people are willing to let the more melodic, soft stuff slide as long as we follow it up with something.
Honestly, I think what's important to us is capturing an attitude, an energy that is like true to us, and that kind of is all pervasive through every single song, no matter if it's hard, no matter if it's soft or melodic or whatever. It's all got a similar sound and attitude to it.
Can we talk about Albany a little bit? Because I know you guys are coming from Albany. You're part of that scene. Is it safe to say you're part of the hardcore scene in Albany?
I would say we're definitely adjacent to it. That's where we fit in the most, I would say. And just the scene in Albany is great. Like the hardcore scene, you know, they've helped us out a lot. There's just like such a great like support system there, you know, for new artists and stuff like that. And I think it's kind of to our advantage that we're not a traditional hardcore band, you know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't even classify us as hardcore, but it's cool that they still let us hop on their shows, you know, and kind of mix things up a little bit.
Are there all ages shows up there? Are they all 21 plus, or is it a mix?
A lot of them are all ages, to be honest with you.
That's good.
Yeah, even at bars and stuff, they'll mark hands, you know, it's not like a...
You guys are playing gigs. You guys are recording music. You're on Spotify. You're in lots of different aspects of the music industry. Do you have a hot take on the music industry right now in 2025?
It sucks. It sucks. I didn't even know how to navigate it, but I kind of figured out as we've gotten, you know, a minor form of success that you kind of have to do it all yourself, you know? Like, there's not going to be a helping hand. You know, it's like, oh, we'll just have a manager do that. No, it's all you. You make the merch. You know, you buy the van. You sleep in the van. Like you book the shows. It's everything. You know, you do it all yourself.
What's been like the most successful thing you guys have done as a band trying to make it in this music business?
We played with a lot of larger bands. That's always like, we played with I Hate God, which is like you know, I've listened to them since I was like 14, like an edgy 14-year-old, you know, so that was super cool to share the stage with them. Hitting milestones in streaming and stuff like that, like recently we hit like 10K monthly listeners. That was huge.
Yeah,
we really
congrats.
I've been wanting to hit that for a while.
I think last night was a really good accomplishment for us too, because it was at No Fun in Troy, and we almost packed the whole place, and it was all of bands that we chose, and we like curated the bill, and like we set up the date with, you know, the booker at the venue, and like we did all this ourselves, and like to be able to put on a successful night in our own scene like that is just like I said, humbling. It's really cool to be able to do that within our own community.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't too hard to put the bill together because we were like, okay, it's kind of just like a hometown party, you know, like let's get our friends Torpedo Lane, let's get our friends Senior Living, two other Albany bands that are awesome, and let's just go have fun at a venue that's ironically called No Fun. Yeah. But
Oh, and people knowing the words to our songs too.
Yeah.
Coming up, grabbing the mic and stuff like that.
I was going to mention that that's one of the coolest parts to me is, you know, we'll go to another city anywhere, as long as, like, if it's not in Albany and I hear people singing our songs back to us, that's amazing. That's mind-blowing to me.
How did you guys go from the beginning with not even any songs to now putting on this packed house show at No Fun in Troy?
It's just about being in the scene. You can't expect to get something from the scene if you don't put in. You know, I used to like sleep in my car to go to shows. Like when I first started out, because I lived so far away, I would just like spend the night in my car just to go to a show, you know? We all want to support each other, just contribute, you know, show up to shows, you know, say good job to the bands and buy merch, you know, stuff like that. That's the purest way to like build connection.
A lot of competition on streaming platforms. 100,000 songs are released every single day. Spotify's even pushing like fake ghost artists now.
AI artists and stuff.
AI artists. How have you grown to having now 10,000 monthlies, and maybe by the time this comes out, it's going to be even more than that? Like what has been successful there?
Consistency. I think being consistent, like releasing music consistently and keeping interests up is very important, especially in this day and age where a lot of things can be a flash in the pan. You just got to stand out and be consistent and stay true to yourself.
Are you getting on playlists, or how do people know that your stuff is
Not
coming out?
even really. Like we do reach out to individual playlist curators, but as far as like algorithmic playlists, we haven't been on one. Like this is all organic growth here. Like these are people that, well, I mean, Spotify does have a portion that, you know, they do have like algorithm that they push on their end outside of playlists, but the biggest thing are those like curated playlists that Spotify curates themselves,
Right.
which we have yet to be a part of.
Yeah. There's a lot of bot playlists where it's not real, but people ask, hey, for $300 you can get on this playlist, you get 100,000 streams. I think the largest thing is like listener retention. You know, like the biggest thing is you may have 100,000 streams, but how many are going to stick around for the next song?
You had a following on TikTok before the band,
did.
right?
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you kind of converted that into the band page. Has that helped? Like, because I know a lot of bands that have actually kind of blown up on TikTok, and then their Spotify gets big as a result of that. Social media to Spotify, has that been a pipeline for you?
I think the whole short form content, again, it doesn't translate to like listener retention. I do most of the marketing.
Audience.
Yeah. I do most of the marketing for the band, and I found like TikTok, short form content, Reels, it's fake success. The numbers look good on social media. I'm not gonna bash anybody that takes that route, but we've just found more success going through like legitimate pages that truly support our music, that have a like-minded fan base that would cross over well. There's
Pages? What do you mean by pages?
massive Instagram pages that like our music. They shout us out all the time. They'll post videos and stuff like that of us, and
So then they're talking to fans that you would actually want to be in contact
exactly,
with.
yeah,
It's more targeted.
Exactly.
Page with like followers of like just music fans, you know, basically like an online magazine, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, just spotlighting different artists and all that. Here's a throwback of this 90s band and here's this newer band, you know, like stuff like that.
Yeah, I think if you are just doing short form content, you're kind of just throwing shit out the wall and hope it sticks, which it's just such a saturated thing at this point that, you know, people see 1,000 reels a day. People watch 1,000 TikToks a day. They don't remember any of them, you know? If you see like a video from a page that you already follow and it's about music, you know, it's a little more targeted. It helps you a lot more. Like, people are actually going to engage with that.
I feel like as far as the content and social media goes, it's gone so far into that world of, like Colin said, you'll see 50, you know, clips of some band doing a skit or something on Instagram, and it's like, all right, that's cool. No, you know, like he said, I'm not bashing anybody, but like, what's your actual music sound like? We found more success, I guess, in just like posting the flyer or whatever with like a cool picture or clip from an actual live show. Come experience the show for yourself. Come have fun. You know, it's almost shifting back to like the old school, like in-personness. Like I said, I feel like it's gone a little too far in the content creation world.
Yeah. Looking ahead to this year, what do you guys want to accomplish? Where do you want to go with Flat Wounds?
East Coast tour, we want to go down to Florida and back up. Keep dropping singles. We want to see the numbers go up, of course, as every band does. I would definitely like to land on some larger shows, just some festivals or something like that, if possible.
The dream is that we don't have to work two jobs. The one job is the music, right? So we want to do everything we can to make that a reality while not sacrificing our morals and principles, obviously, and just have fun doing it, you know?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your musical influences and what's the music that made you the musician you are today, I guess. David, let's start with you.
I like a lot of Japanese music. That has influenced our writing style a little bit just because the way that progressions are done in that genre of, you know, J-rock and kind of Japanese metalcore. They use some really interesting stuff, and I try to listen to that and incorporate it into what we do. And it's cool because the way that it plays together with some of the other guys' influences usually creates something a little unique, you know? So I think that's the biggest for me.
I've always been really into like the old school rock, heavy metal stuff. I grew up listening to like Guns N' Roses, AC/DC, you know, the typical stuff like that. Just if it's got like driving drums, guitar, loud, I listen to it.
I think Wade and I have a lot of really similar influences. Like, I was really big into like the big four, like Megadeth, Metallica and stuff when I was a teenager. But everything I know about music, I've pretty much taught myself. And I think, well, like the heavy metal stuff really got me into it. I think finding little bits of something that I find really interesting in any kind of music. Because nowadays I love tons of music, and largely it's in part because these guys have kind of different influences me and kind of, you know, changed a lot of the stuff that I listen to.
You're all self-taught with your guitar playing? Did you take lessons? Because you got some good technique.
Thank you. No, I actually started on a piano. I remember I was like 7 or 8, and I had like 5 older brothers, and they would all play like Nintendo games and stuff. And Nintendo has fantastic soundtracks, and I'm like, oh,
Sure.
That's cool. Music's awesome. And I had a piano in the back room, and I'd just press the buttons, and I like, you know, I'm like, oh, that's that note, right? And like I'd figure out like, oh, that's like, this is how you play this song from that game, like just by pressing notes and stuff. So I gotta say, I don't think my technique per se is very good. I think my understanding of music is what makes it actually sound okay.
Oh, I disagree. It's got those squeals and those palm mutes. Anyway, good stuff. So Nintendo music and classic rock, and how about you, Colin?
I grew up on like Alice in Chains, like that's a heavy influence for me. Like Primus, all those like 90s bands. But I've definitely branched out since then. I listen to everything. I really like the punk ethos. I'm really heavily influenced by hardcore. I think it's like the purest form of expression, which I try to capture, you know, live and just in our music.
Well, since you brought it up, you said you want your music to stand for something. So what does Flat Wounds stand for?
It stands for like individuality, you know, being yourself, be exactly who you want to be. Don't live for anybody else. Don't sacrifice who you are to please others. Just do exactly what you want to do, you know, and
Quit your job and make music.
quit your job, make music, chase your passion. That's what life's about, you know.
Just put cool stuff out in the world.
Yeah.
The world needs more cool stuff. Remind yourself that you can do cool things.
You have free will. You can walk out of your job with no consequences. I've done it before. Just do it. You have free will. Just do something. I'm begging you. I'm looking at the camera. I'm begging you to do exactly what you want to do. Do not let anyone else influence your dream. Just do it. It's worth it. I'm telling you.
Well, that's a great note to end on, guys. So where can people find Flat Wounds and learn more about you guys?
Instagram is FLATWOUNDS all one word. You can find us on Spotify, just Flat Wounds, Apple Music, Flat Wounds, YouTube, Flat Wounds. It's all Flat Wounds. Just search us up.
You got a website too, right?
We do have a website.
Flatwounds.com.
www.flatwounds.com.
You can also find us if you are accidentally searching for flat-wound strings.
Yes, you will find us.
Yeah.
You'll find us at a show too. You know, mostly
Yeah.
East Coast for now, but we're branching out.
Yeah.
What's the best way if people want to buy some merch, they want to buy a T-shirt or a CD or something else? Well, how can they do that?
You go to our website, www.flatwounds.com, and yeah, shirts, hats soon, sweatshirts, CDs, cassettes, stuff
All
like
homemade.
that. All homemade.
All homemade.
Yeah.
As
All.
DIY as it can be.
Yeah.
As it should be.
Yeah.
Well,
for sure.
we don't make the shirts, I guess. I don't know how to make a shirt.
We're gonna make the shirts.
All right. Well, I think that's a great place to wrap it up. So thank you so much for sharing your insights and your journey, and I wish you guys all the best. Thank you, Flat Wounds.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.